Okay, so we are going through the Cheshbon HaNefesh, Shar Cheshbon HaNefesh of the Chovos of Avos, where he enumerates 30 different aspects of thought, of analysis, of our relation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, our look at ourselves, see where we stand, and we have so far gone through 12 of the 30, and we're now, Be'ez Hashem, about to approach number 13. So he says as follows: the 13th particular angle and perspective that we need to focus in on as it relates to this concept of Cheshbon HaNefesh, which is a calculation of the soul. We have to focus on the fact that our actions, and I guess this is the assumption that he's making, but probably a pretty good one, that unfortunately, if we're not really working on this to a great degree, we will find that a person's actions are less than the aspect of a person's wisdom, that we know more than we do. And if we know more than we do, that's really not a good thing, because we should be doing as much as what we know, and sometimes even more than what we know, which is another discussion, how does it happen? But the Pirkei Avos seems to imply that certainly our actions should surpass our wisdom. If our wisdom surpasses our actions, then clearly we're not bringing everything we have to the table. And also to reflect on the fact that our efforts in serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu are less than from the level of our intellect, so that our wisdom surpasses our actions, our intellect or our understanding surpasses the level of effort that we put into the particular aspect of Avodas Hashem. And the third aspect to look at is that we are not paying back HaKadosh Baruch Hu what we are obligated to give Him and to do for Him because of the kindnesses that He has done for us, but in commensurate to the level of my ability. So basically that we're falling short in our actions, in our efforts, and in our payment of good in appreciation of the incredible kindnesses. So basically, in looking at that aspect of what we're doing, we're falling short in the big picture versus what we owe HaKadosh Baruch Hu and what our wisdom and our intellect demands. So he says like this, right away, dives right in. Now make yourself a calculation of the soul as follows. Take a look and see what we're doing compared to what we should be doing. Give yourself a nice parable. What is this comparable to? You have a slave, and the master tells the slave to plant a certain area of land commensurate to the seeds that he's been given. But also, and the master gives him seeds, which is exactly what he needs, to be able to fulfill that directive. But this servant does not do what he was asked to do, and he only plants a certain part of the land, leaving another part just unattended. And the rest of the seeds he uses for his own personal gain, his own personal goals. He's got his own needs that he uses the seeds which were designed to plant, and he now takes it for himself. And then, of course, when it comes time to check out the field and see how the servant is doing the job, and he does a little inspection on the ground, on the land, he finds that a portion of the land is not planted. Very upset. And he says, no, hey, uncle, what happened over here? Why didn't you plant the rest of the field? The Eved admits, I'm sorry, master, but I didn't do exactly what you asked. I know you wanted me to plant the whole thing, but it didn't work out that way. Now, when that happens, you're going to have to pay the price. Okay, there's no free ride here. How much did you actually plant based on what you say? Well, let's go through it and see, what it is that you actually admit that you did plant. And then he, of course, confirms that indeed that was what you actually planted. And then he will then make a calculation to how much produce these seeds should ultimately produce at its best level. And in the correlation to this examination and evaluation and calculation, in commensurate to that, he will then claim from this slave, lo rak isharat zvroim shol. He's not just going to ask, okay, now you owe me for the remainder of the seeds. It's not the master's sole complaint here. Of course he's going to say, I gave you 10 pounds of seeds and you planted only 7 pounds of seeds. I want those 3 pounds of seeds. It's going to go much more than that. Had you planted 10 pounds, what would you have gotten? That's what you owe me. You don't just owe me those 3 pounds, but what about all the other produce of all the other seeds? What would have ultimately produced? And you owe me that. This is what I asked you to do, and you didn't do it. And now, not only are we don't have the seeds, we don't have the produce that the seeds would have culminated in. Because now that the slave hears this, and clearly now he's got a big headache. I got a lot of payback here now. The pain is going to be great. The anguish is going to be doubled. Al Shadon of Tovei Mimenu Lo Rakas Hazroim, that his master is not going to just claim from him the seeds, which would have been manageable enough. I'll go to the store and get some more seeds. But also all of the bushels of wheat or of apples or oranges, whatever it is that he was supposed to be planting, that would have. I want all that. So where's all that produce? I want that. You have to pay that back to me. Okay, and please, he says, that same calculation, my brother, it's upon you to make. Okay, about our lives and our situations. We are in exactly the same boat as that slave. Start off calculating. Make a calculation. How much has HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us for us to understand who He is and how great His Torah is? He gave us wisdom. He gave us understanding. He gave us intellect to be able to appreciate HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to appreciate His Torah. And calculate the extent of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you in terms of power and ability to pay back that which you owe. He gave us the ability to actually perform the mitzvahs that He is expecting us to do. Mitzad Sheni, from the other end, so He's given us the wisdom, given us the understanding, He's given us the power. Mitzad Sheni, but on the other side, but how much of this did you actually do? How much of this ability that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you did you actually fulfill? How much of that field did you actually plant? And it should become clear to you that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to ask you to fulfill your obligation. I expected X amount from you, and you're not delivering, so you owe me that. Okay, and He's going to seek out from us din v'cheshbon son, to the extent that we are able to understand what it is that we needed to do. And to the extent that we had the ability, the power, the health, the physical, wherewithal to be able to do what we were asked to do. In addition to that, okay, is that we are constantly appreciating and gaining from and benefiting from the kindness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we've got all this kindness, we've got the ability, we've got the understanding, we know what we have to do, and yet we fall short. So to that extent, He's talking to all of us, have to put in the effort with all of your power, and to bother yourself with all of your ability. The froa labori is kol ma shatachayav lo, to pay back HaKadosh Baruch Hu everything that you owe him. Ulahashveis es masecha l'chochmasecha. Try to balance out your actions to your wisdom. Everything you know, you should be willing to do. Everything you're aware of, you should put into action, into practice. Whatever you learn, becomes part of your life and part of what you do. That's the way it's supposed to be. And your efforts should be commensurate to your understanding. And you should throw yourself in, absorb yourself in all of your efforts to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, again, commensurate to the level of knowledge and wisdom that you have. Don't waste your energy on foolishness. Okay, we have a particular job. We have, as a marshal says, we have to plant the field, and this is what we do. And don't waste your energy on doing other things when it's not relevant to the task at hand. Okay, so please don't waste, he says, your koach on the extras of this world, getting that extra home, getting the fancier car, getting all the other luxuries that so many people in the world crave and go after. Why shouldn't you do that? Because to the extent that you're going to be spending all that energy on those other things, you're not going to have the energy left, because there's a limited amount of energy we have, and if we're going to put so much energy in this side irrelevant stuff, we're not going to have the energy left to be able to focus on the real serious stuff, namely doing the mitzvos, serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, working on our midos, becoming better people. He says a fascinating thing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives the human being koyach k'fi shedorish shloi avrukiyim atayra v'avrikiyumo b'ol mazeh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us exactly enough energy, enough power to be able to gain what we need as far as the ruchnis and as far as the gashmis. Okay, we have an X amount of dollars that we have to make. We have X amount of Torah that we have to learn. Because Baruch Hu gives us the ability and the strength to be able to fulfill those two endeavors. If anybody wastes even a little bit of that energy on extras, on trying to fulfill a type of an American dream kind of concept where I want the extra car and I want the extra fancy this, the fancier that, and if I'm going to spend some extra time on the mostros, where I could have lasted without them, I didn't really need them, they were completely overkill, what's going to happen to that energy? You will then be lacking that energy and missing that energy when you have to now put in the effort on important things that are non-negotiable, things that have to be done. So it isn't like we have limitless, boundless energy. We have a certain amount of koyach, and we have to put the koyach and delegate it properly and make sure that we divide it in its proper way. And stop with the maybe and what if and all these other. Don't dupe yourself and delude yourself into all these answers of maybe and what would have been. Kigoyin, for example, ilo yisem magil madrega plonis boishav chachma hayisel kolavar sabaris barach hamatel salai. Had I, right? What's that famous song? If I were a rich man, then I'd have no problem. If God made me rich, I'd have all the time to give all the tzedakah and do my mitzvos. But you didn't give me enough time. You didn't give me enough wealth because I had to spend all my time now going into other directions. Don't give me that story, he says. Don't dupe yourself into that kind of an argument. Obitzirutzim doimim, or other types of answers that we give for why we're falling short of our desired level of spirituality. They shame divrei sheker because at the end of the day, it's a lie. It's a lie. That's not why. What do you mean? Because you didn't have enough money. That's why you couldn't do avodas Hashem. Anybody who accepts these kind of arguments is foolish and has made a terrible mistake. And anybody relies on these types of arguments is going to fall into a trap, and he's going to trip on himself, over himself. And this type of argument is the greatest of mistakes that people make. The argument that, first let me get my wealth, first let me amass a comfortable fortune. We had this concept earlier in the Sefer, and he's going to allude to it right now. But he says this is the number one argument that people use to delay their focus in spiritual, direction, in serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in prioritizing Torah and mitzvos. I got to get my wealth. I got to secure my family. I got to take care of my, my personal, physical needs, and then I can worry about other stuff. He says it's the biggest mistake we make. He says, from the group of people that take a mashkon from Hashem, take collateral from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he mentioned earlier in the 6th parak of Shar B'tochon, where basically he talks about the fact that we demand the collateral to make sure we put away stuff for a rainy day, so that we have something to guarantee HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to take care of me, because I don't trust that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is just going to do it on his own. So if I have it now, I'll put it away for a rainy day. So I'll sort of collateralize, whatever the word is. I'll guarantee and have some kind of a commitment to make sure that I'm safe. So I'm going to work on amassing that money now, so that I'll have it for a rainy day, and therefore I won't have to rely on the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But that's a foolish argument, and this is the number one argument when you say that. Well, I need to amass my wealth, and then I can go back to do mitzvos. Big mistake. Be careful. Don't fall into that trap. Don't ever use that excuse. That you can sort of escape and defend yourself and use as a argument to explain your inactivity in the spiritual realm. Be careful. Don't fall into that trap. Because if you do that, if you start making these excuses, and that's why you're not doing what you need to do, because you need to get your wealth under control and make sure that you have a nice piggy bank for for a rainy day. You'll be no different than all the other sinners who make these kind of rationalizations to justify what they do with this same type of argument. Don't be that guy. Don't fall into that trap. It's known to you. You think it's going to get you out of punishment? You think because you had a good excuse that you needed to get money, you had this insecurity, you didn't have enough, you had to put away, and all these things, you think that's going to get you away from and give you some kind of a pass from retribution? It's not going to do it. The rule, you good excuse at the end of the day, did you pay or didn't you pay? Did you do what you needed to do? Shalom Melech comments about the Ganef in Mishlei. What does he say about the thief? It's not going to be a very big degradation in the people's eyes if somebody steals when he's very hungry. Right? To fill up his soul, because he's very hungry. If you see somebody, poor guy, you see him on the corner there by the freeway waiting, asking for money. Then notice he walks into that Chevron station right nearby, and he goes and steals a candy bar. He sticks a Kit Kat in his pocket, and he walks out. You're not going to feel the same way about that guy than a guy in a $600 suit, where he pulls up in a Mercedes, a 2020 brand new Mercedes, and he walks into the gas station, and you see this, and he's sticking a Kit Kat in his pocket, and he's walking out without paying for the Kit Kat. You're going to be upset at that. You're going to be shocked. The guy Nebuch has no money, he has no food. You're going to feel bad for that guy. You're not going to be as upset, no way, compared to somebody who's a Ganef, who's a real low-life Ganef. So even though, yes, it's true that the person will elicit more compassion from the general population, okay, but you're still going to pay sevenfold. Okay, if the Chevron guy catches the homeless guy, maybe one guy he might let him go, but chances are, certainly if he steals something very expensive, he's going to stop and say, "Hey, buddy, you got to pay." And in the Torah law, you have to pay kefil, you have to pay double for stealing, depending on the circumstances. So just because there's compassion to be had about your situation, at the end of the day, if you're a ganef, you're going to have to pay. Same thing over here. You might think you're going to rationalize your existence away and come up with excuses. That's all they are. They're excuses. And maybe there might be a little compassion, but you'll still have to pay. You will not get out of justice. It's a kavul. It's for sure. Kavul is a method of logic that says if the smaller thing, is this way, then if something is even stronger, then for sure it should be that way. So it's a kavul chaymer. Mayim ganav zeh. If this ganav, lama sharoinas mitzukasei. Okay, granted that in light of the fact that we still see his plight, his difficult plight, and the fact that it was the need and the pressure of life that forced him to take somebody else's money, so we sort of understand where this guy's coming from. Yet at the end of the day, when you're caught, you got to pay. It's a crime. Shoplifting is a crime. I don't care that you're homeless. Doesn't justify you walking into Macy's and taking a sweater. It's just not going to work. Macy's is going to drag you in and going to make you pay whatever the price is. So if that's the case for a situation where there is legitimate room for compassion, okay, and for understanding, certainly it's not going to be a valid answer and will not exempt the sinner from punishment referring to things that he transgressed without pressure. Okay, because at the end of the day, it's sort of self-made pressure. You don't really have pressure to amass more money than you really need. You have what you need, but you want more. You're putting away for a rainy day. You're thinking about the future. What's going to be? Our job is not to worry so much about what's going to be. Our job is to do what's right now. So right now, you're for sure not doing what's right because of a concern for later. Because Baruch Hu takes care of us. There'll be plenty to go around. Al Kain. Therefore, he says, "Natzel esav shoris v'zdamnus kol oichi amedas rishuscha." Grab that opportunity and the ability to do what you need, as long as it's right now in your domain to do it. Don't delay, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. You got the power right now. You got the ability right now. Grab it while it's still within your realm to pull it off. And pay back HaKadosh Baruch Hu every single day what you owe him. You know what you owe, right? You know the schedule. You know the drill. You know what we have to do. We have to daven. We have to do mitzvos. We have to work on amidos. There are things we have to do. Okay, mitzvahs every single day that come by. The brachas we have to make, and so many other things that demand a proper course of action throughout the day. So make sure we bring that commitment on a daily basis. Don't push off tomorrow what you can do today. It might be very hard for you. You don't know what tomorrow brings. So you have the ability now, grab the opportunity now. That's even true if you live till tomorrow, if you manage till the next day. But how much worse it's going to be if you're waiting, and you never get to Chas v'Sholom. One of the big, I asked the girls today, because everyone's still reeling from Kobe and Kobe, the tragedy. Everyone's besides themselves, and so what did you learn? Right? What did you learn? And they gave really the right answer. We learned how fragile life is and how you have to grab every opportunity when it presents itself. Because you can't assume, we just don't know if this icon, Kadosh Baruch Hu can take him in a second. Okay, no one has guarantees. We knew that before this tragedy, but to a lot of kids, it drives home that point that we're not here forever, and you pasha don't know what's right around the corner. So make the most of your time. Take full advantage of the opportunities that we have. So how much worse it's going to be if we don't even make it till tomorrow? Ki oz tirutz chazeh Yalla b'tov, because in that case, for sure, if you don't even make it to the point where you can pay him back, it's bad. You waited to pay him back, but what happens if you can't even do that? You can't even make up the mitzvos because you're not even around to make up the mitzvos. It'll end up in emptiness. You'll be stuck. But tenoscha zos tistatom, and this claim is going to be completely stifled and sort of stuffed and closed up. Because this world is like a fair. It's like a big fair. Okay? I guess, a lot of us don't know about fairs, but right there are county fairs. Maybe you can compare it also to a flea market. Maybe more of us know about flea markets. But the point is, either way, it's about this big place where you can get stuff. People gather there to sell their wares and to buy other people's wares. And after they're done, they go on their way. Right? That's what this life is. You do what you can do, and then you go home. The one who does good deals and good trades and good business will benefit. He's going to walk away from the fair very happy. I did good today. I sold a lot of good stuff. I bought a lot of good stuff. You did what you needed to do because you showed up and you put in the effort. And somebody makes a lot of mistakes and loses because they just weren't very focused and very committed. Walks out with dejection and with remorse. What did I do? I didn't prepare properly. I didn't grab the opportunities that this fair gave me. You're not gonna. That's it. You lost because it's done. The merchandise is sold. You had your opportunity. The fair's not coming back to, for another while, and then you're stuck. HaNefesh warns us and reminds us and encourages us. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth. Don't push off the opportunities that you're given when you're younger to do the Ratzon Hashem. Before the days that would be wicked would come. In order that they should not come. In other words, you want to make sure that you don't end up in a bad situation. So remember your Creator when you're youthful, and that will avoid the negative from coming and overtaking you. So 13 again. They sound similar. I guess this is a time kind of safe. You really should go over again and again. But we pick them apart one by one. We would see subtle differences, but. This particular aspect of the 30 is basically saying that we have to make sure that our effort and energy to fulfill the Ratzon Hashem doesn't fall short from the talents that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us and the power that we have to do what we need to do in the right time, in the right way. And they gave us the mashal just to sort of drive home that point, that if we are given a job and we fall short, we're going to have to end up paying that price. Okay, I think we can make a little bit of a dent into the next one. We're almost at the halfway point. Now, the 14th aspect of Cheshbon Nefesh is as follows. Cheshbon Nefesh shalo adam lasois la'atzmo kshu mavchin ba'atzmo. It is the Cheshbon Nefesh that a person needs to examine oneself with about the fact when he calculates and senses in his heart. Let's examine and let's analyze how we react when we feel that somebody really loves us. What does it do for us? What does it create in our heart when we really understand fully the extent of somebody else's love for us? Okay, it naturally elicits from us a love back, and we appreciate that, and we respond in kind. And my heart stirs, and I have a leaning towards, going in your direction and being connected to you. Like the Pasuk Mishlei says, right? When you look into the water, what you see when you look into the water is your reflection, right? So if you're sad, the water will show you a sad face. When you're happy, the water will show you a happy face. That's the way people are to each other. You want to know We want to know how, basically, what we have to do in order to elicit a good feeling from an individual. We have to shower that person with positive feelings from our end, and then we can expect that to be reciprocal. But it's got to start somewhere, and that's the way we work. We should not expect positive feeling from a person that we are not exuding those same positive feelings. So, if we know that, and if we know there's love coming in our direction from the Creator, what does that do in terms of our obligation to reciprocate that love? It should be oozing and coming forth in such a strong and powerful way. Let's see how he explains it. So it's simple enough and basic enough when the person that loves us is a regular person and they show us love, they show us compassion, we sense it from them, we're going to feel excited about that. But how much more so if the person who shows us that love is a Sarah Moshe, is now a big shot, a ruler, somebody who's got a lot of power. That would create even more love. Look at that. He's so powerful, and yet he still loves me, he cares about me. What an amazing person. That's going to even encourage you and inspire you to do that much more. How much more so if you don't just calculate that this person loves you. Eluro is also love, but you see that love through many signs that testify to that love. It's not just a feeling that I have about you. If there are things that I can see that you do that clearly indicate and support that love that you're giving me, not just that I calculate that you love me, but I see specific signs that testify to the fact that you love me. You bring me close. You promise to help me. You get me out of tough messes, tough situations. You bail me out of problems. You do chesed with me. Well, even though you don't have to. So all of these things, when you actually go out of your way and benefit me, my gosh, I feel completely indebted. I feel completely overwhelmed. That love becomes so powerful. Look at what this person is doing. They don't have to do it. And look at what they're doing. They're always there for me. They're always backing me up. They're always helping me out. There's nothing that's going to remove my my thought process from that individual. I'm going to go do whatever I can to make sure that person is taken care of, that I fulfill my responsibilities to them. At least if we had proper agashis, akar satov would overwhelm us that we really want to take care of this person. Kol mamitz, he will not hesitate and hold back any effort, any energy, and toil and work in order to fulfill any of his commandments, and to cling to serving you and to taking care of you with all of my might. And I'll even sacrifice myself, as for mono, my money, and my children, not to the point of life and death, but basically I'll put this person as a priority, and even though I might have less time to devote to my kids, I'm going to feel compelled to take care of this person. Look at what they've done for me. They've done so much for me. In order for me to pay back properly the benefit that I receive, I will hold nothing back. I'll go out of my way. So this is something that is the natural reaction of a person who's honest and who is receiving such kindness from a human being. This is how a person feels. I feel tremendously indebted. When you start examining and calculating these emotions, make a simple kavachomer for yourself. The simple method of saying, if this is the way it is in this case, how much more so should it be in the other case? Namely, if this is the extent that we feel connected to somebody who's just a mere mortal like us, right? The person, whoever that person is, at the end of the day, they're limited in what they can do. They've done very nice things. That's very nice, but they're like me. That's who they are. They have what they have their positives, they have their limitations. So if that's how I feel about somebody like me, who has exactly my limitations and my natural weaknesses, how much more so should we feel that indebtedness towards the Kodesh Baruch Hu? He lets us know straight up from the Torah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us. Boundless, incredible love. It's not from your numbers. Moshe says to us in Devarim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't love you and have a great cheshik for you because of your numerical superiority. But it's rather from the love that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has for you. That's why He's so protective of you and cares so much about you. And in addition to that we know this from Moshe Rabbeinu in terms of his telling us how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us. We certainly have from the present and from the past thousands of years of proof of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's love for us. He loves us and He helps us. Sheri Keirav Asanoi love, He brought us close to Him. He has stood by us in every single generation. We are an absolute miracle. Okay, we mentioned many times in the past, Rav Yaakov Evan says, HaNefesh, I swear by my life that the greatest miracle of all of Jewish history and human history is Jewish survival. Because it is inexplicable that we're here. So that we are here, Baruch Hashem, we're able to do mitzvos. What does that testify? It testifies to the boundless, limitless love that Kodesh Baruch Hu has for us. Yivteach lanu, and He promised us, Lamoid liminenu b'chol davadar, He will stand by us in every single generation. Commotion amar v'af gam zois b'yosim beretz oivayim le'masam logaltam l'chaloisam. Even when you do get sent out to a faraway land, the Kodesh Baruch Hu is not going to be repulsed by you completely to destroy you. Chas v'shalom. There's always going to be that love that will secure our survival, that will guarantee that we will make it. Yes, we are servants, but in our servitude, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has never forsaken us and will never forsake us. We always will be under God's protection. Okay, I think this is a good place to stop. So we're sort of midway through Midah 14, through the not Midah 14, but the strategy of the 14th method, which is focusing on the ava that we feel from HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the need to pay back that ava in kind. Okay, shkoyach.